What's up, YouTube? Alright, it's been a couple weeks, but as you can see, I've installed lighting. I've got that little guy, he's been in there for about a week. Bird's nest, Albapora, some dragon's breath algae, but there's just not enough nutrients in this tank. Regal tang, yellow tang, and my Mellanaris Russ is somewhere. Where is he? Oh, there he is. And you can't really see it, but I got a bubble tip anemone and 2 clowns. Alright, so number one, if this is your first time to your reef, don't expect to do something like this. The reason I did it, there were 2 things if you're an advanced aquarist and you're going to do something like this. 1, don't keep dosing ammonia, and 2, just throw in the bacteria in a bottle. Don't even use live rock. Live rock you're going to spike back and forth as well, because you're going to have so much life in that rock that some of it's going to have to die and the ammonia is going to have to feed it. The only real way that you're going to be able to do anything is just chuck some bacteria in a bottle and then make it work. Took about 3 days for it to cycle. It did spike up to 0.1 parts per million ammonia, and the nitrite spiked to 0.25, and I ended up with about 3 to 4 parts per million. Actually, now it's 5 parts per million nitrate. I got pods growing. I can't really see it. So they're growing in my display. I still don't have a protein skimmer. I know, right? SPS without a protein skimmer? Yeah, right. So the idea is I'm going to try to not put in a protein skimmer. I want to try an algae scrubber. And here's a crude idea that I came up with. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. But we'll see. I'm sure if there's any algae that's going to grow, I'm going to try to cultivate it on the screen. I didn't want to do the drip method, but this seems a little bit in line for what I wanted. Yes, that's still there. I will need a chiller. It's 80 degrees. And this is with everything fully open, and my temp is 75. So 75 in here, I have everything open, and I think it has to do with canopy and everything else. Now it'll drop down to 78 at night, but it's still not enough. So next on the list is a chiller. I'm gonna have to plumb that out. And this little valve right here will actually be open for once. That means I'm going to have to design a manifold, so it's all going to have to go in at once. I'm still going to leave a T or not a T, but a neck just for the skimmer, just in case I need one. But for now, I'm going to try to get away without a skimmer. Now, the reason I didn't want to go with the skimmer is that there's a lot of phytoplankton and pods and stuff that got sucked up into my last protein skimmer. And I want to try to keep this as marine. I want an ecosystem. So if I can go over and prevent, loss of life and keep phyto going on, then I'm going to do that. I did put in the acrylic baffle, as you can see. I just used acrylic hot glue. I didn't use I didn't use the acrylic glue where it would bond, because I may want to take it out. I also drilled a few holes just in case my water level gets down. As you can see there, I don't know if that's cyano, I'm not sure. a little too orange. I had some sort of something. I don't have any phosphate. I tested for phosphates. I don't have any phosphate. Not that I can tell. But it wouldn't surprise me if there is anything. This guy's not doing too hot. You can tell because of the, can't really tell here. The tips are turning translucent. See that? So I don't have enough nitrate and phosphate in my system to probably keep them alive. So I have them in the fuge, so I'm just gonna chuck them up there, let the tangs eat on them if they're hungry. There's not really much life. It's pretty clean tank. And I think I went a little overboard, so hopefully not putting that protein skimmer or GFO. Well, eventually I'm going to need GFO. And there's just no way to get phosphate out of the system unless I use... Well, it's a balancing act. Hopefully this macroalgae will work. It did me well in the past, but it could not possibly work. We'll see. Right now it's a little too early. I do have some dusting of diatoms here, and I do have it on the rock. You can't really tell too much. It just kind of lightly dusted it. It's nowhere near like if you just kept dosing and you got 40 parts per million nitrate at the end of your cycle. The lighting I chose. Oh, and of course power heads. So the MP40 quiet drive was not in stock. So I went with the WP40s until the MP40s come in stock. And it's also pretty awesome to have two power heads, or two sets. You're going to want a backup, because just in case an MP40 goes out, I'm going to want to use a WP40 instead. So it's good to have a backup. These lights, so the only way that I could go over and afford radions is if I need 4 of them, because this tank is 7 foot long. So by having 4, and I may be able to get away with 3, but I'd rather just have 4. If I went with 4 radions, and they're $650 a pop, so I might as well spend the extra $100 and just the $750 ones. So if I had 4 of those, I mean, we're looking at almost $3,000, right, just for lights. So it was a good gamble. I spoke with Cindy at DSunY, or Do Sun Yourself, and I didn't get the Turing ones. I got a different kind. They're definitely, they weren't even on their site. So you're gonna have to talk to Cindy if you want these kind of lights. I'll tell you what, they will grow. They'll grow cool. They're very strong. They're 3-watt bridge lux. They're way too strong. I went over, and right now the highest I have it at is 60%, and I think my bird's nest is looking a little too pale green. I may have to drop them down a little lower. And this is just with these lightings. And you start seeing some red here and there. Right now it's on the dusk setting. I have a program where it does morning, dawn, and then like by 8 or 9 a.m. that red will go away, and then by full noon or 2 o'clock it'll be like blue and purple. It'll look just like under the ocean. But for now, I like to have a sunset-ish look. And right now it looks, from this camera, like it's bleeding through. But you can adjust the channels depending on how much red you want to take out, and how much blue and such like that. I'm not going to go over and do a review just yet. But I will say this. They will grow SPS, and they're freaking strong. And this is more than enough light than what you need. I bought mine for $750 shipped. So, got them. It took a week. It was FedEx. I was actually really surprised. So, They FedExed from China, and it got to my house within a week. The only thing that I hated about it were the mounting brackets. I actually had to go to Home Depot and mount them in here with the brackets. So I had to use a drill and everything else just to get them all in there. And they do get hot. Don't, at 100% they'll get hot. They'll be way too hot to touch. So all that crap about, oh, they're still cool to the touch, and that's not true. So if you do set them to 100%, which you better have like some crazy needs, because I could probably put SPS in the bottom of the tank and it would be fine. So keep that in mind. There are no fans, they're just heat sinks. The WP-40s are pretty cool. I actually got a wave in here before. Right now it's on a reef crest mode. But I got the waves going so big that I actually splashed a little on my top. So you can, they're pretty strong. They're pretty quiet. They're going right now, they sound like a cell phone vibrating, so it's not bad. Let's see. That's really all I got at the moment. Yeah, it looks kind of bare down there. It's so dark. Well, until next time, I may do a review on these lights and the programming and everything else. But so far, everything's looking pretty good. The only thing I got stressed out right now is a bird's nest, and I think it's just due to lighting. But we'll see in a future video how he turns out. Maybe I'll drop him down lower or something. The Salvia pora, he's not fully extended, but if you look at this flow will just blow him over. I may have to find a spot that's a little calmer. Plus he's only been in there for a week, and Algae pores can kind of get a little fussy. Anyways, until next time.